Hey guys, welcome to another Monday Market Minute. Now, I probably wasn't going to make a video this week, and if I did make another video this week, it was probably going to be not even about Pokemon, but it was probably going to be about investing in your retirement plan if your company that you work for offers one. But don't worry, I'm still going to make that video, alright? Look for that in the future. But you've probably seen the title of this video, so you know we're going to be talking about Dama and his hot takes. Well, maybe not so hot, but we're going to be talking about Dama and his takes on Investor Bros. Look, for the most part, totally agree that he's correct on a lot of things that he says. And obviously, I'm not going to argue with a guy that has a lot of experience in the Pokemon market. I don't have nearly as much experience in the Pokemon market as he does. I know a lot when it comes to investing. I know a lot about how money works. I've studied economics very heavily. It's like just a side passion of mine that personally I'm very into. But so, I think that I've definitely got some valid points to add to the conversation. Again, I'm not saying that I know better than Dama on how things are going to play out when it comes to Pokemon product, to different sets, what cards to invest in, or why things do what they do. I'm not saying that I know better than him on any of that stuff. But I think that he definitely, in part of his video, has a bit of a bad faith take on something, a bit of misrepresentation. And I don't think that he does it maliciously. He's very clear in his video about how it's just a video just kind of like asking some questions and stuff, and that's totally fine. I get that. So I think that his hyperbolic misrepresentation of like what someone is saying is more just for shock value and like for entertainment value, you know? Like I said, he's very clear that he's not trying to like stir hate or anything, and I'm not trying to do that either. I'm not trying to like start a fight with anybody or start drama or beef or say like, don't listen to what this person says, listen to me instead. I'm totally not saying that. I think that there's a couple things that he says that you should think a little bit harder about. So anyway, let's get started. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip to his intro where he's talking about how, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about, and then we're going to go from there.
So we're going to watch some of their clips, some of their videos, and kind of take little context and pieces out of their videos and just kind of ask some questions about what they're saying. In no way is this to defame, attack, or belittle anybody who is in this video. It's just me shedding some light on something you said and asking a few questions. All right, that's it. So let's take a look at what they have to say.
All right, so like Dama just said, which again I'm going to reiterate here because I'm also not trying to stir hate, not trying to throw shade, not trying to start new fights. Again, I'm just trying to add my voice on, on the topic. That's really all it is, right? So, yeah, I don't think that I think that Dama is sincere in what he's saying. He's saying, I'm not trying to start new fights. I'm not trying to make a fool of anybody. I'm just trying to ask questions and also like throw in my expertise into what all the investor bros are saying. And I think that's totally valid. I think that's fair. So now this first video, I think that he has a very good, honest take. I think that he has very critical and valid points about the investor bros, and I think that that's shown best by his first example. So let's take a look at that first.
Anything Scarlet and Violet booster box wise,
all right,
or around $100 is a good play, and that's even including some of the stuff that people don't like as much. Base set, Obsidian Flames,
Obsidian Flames.
Anything Scarlet and Violet booster box around $100, I think is going to see very nice growth over the next half decade, right?
Half decade? All right, so Mr. Jordan Collects had a take regarding Scarlet and Violet booster boxes. Anything around $100 right now is a great pickup for the next decade, but it is a key pivotal investment for this August. So Jordan, again, no hate to you. It seems like maybe you're a little new to the hobby. I'll be honest, just because a take like that tells me a lot of things about somebody. One, I could say quite literally anything is a great investment this August. Over the next half decade.
Okay, so Dama's major points there, again, and I think that they are very fair critiques, is that a lot of these, investor bros is, and I think that's a fair, grouping to call them like, the investor bros, as Dama likes to put it, is that pretty much every single one of them is saying right now that like all the Scarlet and Violet sets are great investments. And how do you know who to believe if just everybody is like unilaterally saying the same thing. And I think that his big critique on talking about timelines of like, well, I could take any set, say that it's going to do well in 5 years, and what are the odds that I'm going to be wrong? Extremely low, because if you look at any set, like from when it released to 5 years later, they're going to be up. Yeah, maybe there's a onesie twosie out there that, you know, somebody could come back and point to of like, this one hasn't gone up in price yet, it's still at or below MSRP, yada yada. Like, okay, but how many of but out of those, even if you found those two sets, let's say, are you going to tell me that you're going to go based on that trend versus every single other set that proves that statement correct? But so the reason why I think that Dama has a very valid point here is that, like, you almost can't be wrong, right? And I mean, I will say that I think that that is something that the investors do fall back on very heavily, is that, I mean, if you buy this product, down the line somewhere, it's going to go up in price. That very vague statement, you are going to be correct at some point, most likely. The odds are very much in your favor that, yeah, sure, you're going to be right at some point. But, I mean, if you are somebody who's watching these videos and you're trying to get good, genuine advice because you want to put some of your own money into the market and make some gains, that doesn't really tell you anything. How is that supposed to be helpful to you, right? I mean, it shouldn't be a get-rich-quick strategy. I mean, especially if we're talking about sealed product, which is what, I mean, everybody's talking about with the booster boxes, or, you know, if you deal with cases or whatever, is that it's not going to be quick. Dama is very right. There is like a 2 to 3 year timeline where you are going to have to be sitting on stuff waiting for it to go up. Now, the reason for that is because it's in print for 2 years. There's once it releases, there's that 2 year timeline that you can expect reprints, and that's going to affect, you know, and that's going to affect the market, whether or not it goes up and down. So they're going to be about at the same price that you probably got it at. Even if you got like a really good deal early, it's not going to go up very much. Those years is not where you're going to make your money and make gains and be able to sell at a profit. So, yes, I think Dama has a very great point there. I think that those are very valid things that he talks about. And, I mean, respect for, you know, calling this out. But anyway, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's go over where I'm going to start disagreeing with what Dama says.
Anyway, on to the next one.
The whole goal is just buy these sets when they're low, and then wait.
Okay.
And then if they reprint, maybe it's an opportunity to buy some
buying
more.
Opportunity. I've heard that.
Shock you. It's the same thing. Like if you have Evolving Skies booster boxes,
I do.
Now there's some market manipulation happening.
Who
cares? Just hold it for a couple more months, 6 more months, and it's going to be right back to where it started. If not,
so wait, we're buying this in August. But if there's a little market manipulation, it's no big deal. Just wait another 6 months. And then for the next 6 months, I can include Evolving Skies in every single investment portfolio monthly. So it's basically the general concept he's getting at is if something's low, you buy it. And if it's not low, we are going to we're winners. We make a lot of money. But if it's low, hey, if you sell it, you're a FOMO bitch.
All right, so right there. Here's my major criticism number one. Is that, I mean, this FOMO bitch statement, I mean, that is very much just like putting words into somebody else's mouth. He didn't say anything close to that. What PokeOffice is saying, and I know that Dama understands what PokeOffice is trying to say. I do have to say that PokeOffice did not do a very good job of being able to say it himself. He didn't represent his position very well. He was not able to articulate it. So, I mean, I don't blame, take that into account. But I know that even with that, the Dama does understand what PokeOffice is trying to say. So, and what PokeOffice is saying is that, let's say that you buy some product. Let's say that you buy like 3 booster boxes of just, let's say Paradox Rift, for example. And then a reprint, you know, market manipulation happens and Paradox Rift gets reprinted. And then now the booster boxes are going for $75, right? So that's going to make a lot of people panic. They're going to feel bad. They're going to be worrying. They're going to be like, oh no, my boxes are losing value. I need to get out now and immediately sell my boxes and take this loss before it goes down even more. And what PokeOffice is trying to say is that that's not the right call, which I agree with. I think this is very solid advice, what PokeOffice is trying to say, but I think that he's saying it in a very poor way. So if that happens to you, okay, so the price of booster boxes has gone down. You bought into the set because you think it's going to do good. So why don't you buy more into it? You can get even more booster boxes at an even lower price. Because again, if you give it enough time, and Dama does acknowledge this with his first example, is that, yeah, it is going to go up. Which, again, I don't think that is bad advice right there. If whatever you bought into, if it's now at a lower value, that doesn't mean that you can't buy more of it. That's what a lot of people that do investing look at those things. And again, that's why it's called an opportunity. It's a chance to get even more of that thing that you believe is going to go up at an even cheaper price. So more of your dollars are going to go up even more. So, okay, so like I said, with the example, you bought 3 booster boxes. Now each one's like $20 less than it was when you bought it. Why would I want to buy more of something that went down? Because in 6 months, like PokeOffice says, it's probably going to go back to where it was. Look, is it a guaranteed? No. And Dama does, make that point, which again is accurate. It's not a guarantee, right? Dama's more knowledgeable than I am. I'm sure that he give examples of when 6 months later, after a reprint, it didn't go up. I'm sure that has happened. But if you do believe that it is going to go up, that in 6 months, these 3 more booster boxes that I buy, making me a total of 6, are going to get back to where it was. Well, now when it does get back to where it was, now I can sell those 3 booster boxes that I bought for $20 less than the other 3 for a profit now. And now I have more capital to buy something else if that's what I'm looking to get out. Or I have 6 booster boxes and now they're all going up in price versus instead I only had 3, and so now my money is growing into even bigger amounts. So that is what PokeOffice is trying to say. Again, he doesn't articulate it very well. It's not a unique idea. Any investor bro has said the same thing at some point. And again, I think that it is generally good advice. I think that that idea is worth listening to. Now, whether or not you should listen to someone saying that about a specific set, well, that's on you. You got to do your own research, honestly. Anybody can study markets. It's not that hard. But, Dama is sitting here saying, oh, PokeOffice is saying that you're a FOMO bitch if you sell right now. It's just, I think he's just doing it for entertainment value, but, it's very disingenuous. It's very bad faith to represent what he is trying to say with that statement there. But anyway, so let's get to what else Dama has to say about PokeOffice.
But I can also make content off it and tell you to go buy it because it's a great investment opportunity. Even if I'm like down a shit ton of money on it because I bought it high, it got manipulated and went down. Don't be a pussy. Just fucking buy it, dude. Buy more. And then a couple months from now, maybe half a decade from now, you make a lot of money.
Okay, so right there, again, a little bit harsh on the representation of PokeOffice. Again, I don't think it's malicious. I think it's for the entertainment. Can't say that enough. He does make another good point right there of, 5 years down the line, it's going to go up. None of these guys ever give specific timelines because it's in the future. You can't predict. I'm not surprised that nobody is like, if you buy this right now at exactly this date, you can sell it for this much profit and everything. And like nobody would be able to give that much specific information. And I know I'm being a little hyperbolic with my example of, specific time and day, like on the dot, kind of like I get it. But nobody can fully predict these markets. You can only put your money in what you think will happen. Let's look at the 151 UPCs for a second. Just for reference, right? I mean, within the last 2 months, Costco had UPCs of 151 in store for like $70. They had them online for like $80. And we're like 2 months later, and now those same UPCs are selling for like $145 right now. So in that 2-month timeline, you doubled your money, right? I mean, could anybody have said, hey, if you buy this Costco box right now, that in 2 months' time you'll be able to sell it for double what you bought it for? No one would be able to say that. Nobody could know that. I mean, there was a lot of things up in the air. There's a lot that goes into it, like the reprint that was rumored about 151. Were the UPCs going to be included in that? We still don't even know that with 100% certainty. I'm sure that it's just going to be the ETBs. Personally, I don't think the UPCs will be reprinted. But nobody has crazy insider knowledge. Nobody would be able to say, buy it now, sell it at this point, and you will make this much. Like, just nobody can do that. But other than that, again, I think that Dama has a good point when he is saying that, of instead of being more honest about it, of, hey, you're going to be holding on to it for a long time. I mean, some of the investor bros do say that, don't get me wrong. Some of them are very open of like, look, this is like a 2 to 3 year investment for me. I'm buying it all now. I'm going to be holding it for this long. Like, at least. It could be longer, but like around this much time, for sure. Like, without doubt, I will be holding it at least this long. But Dama does have the good point of just like this vague in the future 5 years. Yeah, it's going to go up. I think that is definitely his fair critique there, but I don't think that he gives PokeOffice a fair shake with what he's talking about right now. But anyway, let's continue.
Right? Is that what we're getting at here?
You have a little bit of fear, and then it's like, oh no, I need to panic sell because sales went below what I think it's
I've heard of panic sell before in stocks and crypto.
Whatsoever. So good to know the numbers, but it's also good to take the step back and be like, okay, let's reassess, let's reevaluate, and make sure we're making smart, wise decisions about
Okay, so again, I've explained what PokeOffice is trying to say. And again, he's just articulating it just so very poorly. And Dama is about to rip into him again for that. And again, I know that he's not trying to start beef or anything like that. But when you're watching it, and when Dama, again, clearly shows that he knows what it is that PokeOffice is trying to say, but then like ripping into him so hard, it just seems like bad faith. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like kind of my gripe just with this point right now. It's just I don't understand the level of aggression over just the fact that PokeOffice just knows what he wants to say but isn't good at saying it.
Decisions we're reassessing and reevaluating when boxes typically, on average, remember this, lots of boxes will grow in price, like extreme growth, in like a 3 to 4 year period post their release. For like the first 2 to 3 years, lots of boxes, lots of them, are like in this limbo period of like MSRP release price going down.
Okay, so here Dama is falling back on obviously his years of experience doing exactly this, right? And again, like I said, he's very knowledgeable. He definitely knows what he's talking about. I'm not saying that Dama is like doesn't know what he's talking about, or is like a snake oil salesman, or is trying to fool anybody. Definitely not. I think that with someone with his level of experience, he can definitely sniff out BS because he knows what he's talking about. But even with what he's saying right now, he is agreeing with the investor bros with this statement of, look, these things are going to go up over this much time, which is, again, what the investor bros do fall back on. So even though he's ripping in so hard, he is ultimately agreeing with them that, yeah, if you take any box and you hold on and you sit on it for this long, yeah, it's going to go up. I mean, he's giving a little bit more of a specific timeline for it, but he's still agreeing with them.
tiny bit below that or a tiny bit above that, and it fluctuates. So basically what the Poke Office taught me in that video, and I skipped through everything he showed graphs, charts wise, anybody can do that, but the premise of his video was more or less, hey, the market gonna do what the market do, enter stuff low, and if it gets manipulated and you've lost a lot of money, maybe consider assessing your position and entering again. Buy more of them. Because I know...
Okay, so see right there, Dama is accurately representing what it is that Poke Office is trying to say. So, again, I believe Dama when he's trying to say, like, he's not trying to, like, bully anybody or, like, throw shade or start stuff or anything like that. But again, so I can clearly see that, like I just said, he knows what it is Poke Office is trying to say. So I don't know why he's resorting to this tactic of saying that he's telling his audience that they're like FOMO bitches and stuff if they sell. Like, I'm a little confused on that one of like, I just don't understand why he went that route.
No, you've lost a lot of money because we've been telling you for months.
Okay, so right there, here is where Dama is actually 100% wrong about something.
That this set is super underrated and is super buyable at a low. But hey, if you just reassess your position when it gets manipulated and drops $30, $40 because there's a reprint of a set, or because there's not enough interest in the set, or because a new set came out that's way better, just reassess your position. And then maybe in a couple of months or 6 months down the road, it's going to be right back to... Oh, wait, it's not. Because a lot of booster boxes don't just do that in 6 months.
Okay, so so Dama is right about the booster boxes and that stuff. I understand that. Okay, and you've lost a lot of money. No, you haven't lost any money. If something goes down in value, you haven't lost any money. You don't lose or gain any money until you sell whatever that thing is. Like, for example, going back to the UPCs for 151, so I made a bad call on that. I bought 2 UPCs, pre-ordered them at MSRP at $120. Now, did I lose money when they went down in value when they were selling for like $70 or even cheaper in some cases? No, it's not like I wasn't able to buy everything else. Like, it's not like money came directly out of my bank account and suddenly I just have less money. That's not like my UPCs didn't suddenly spontaneously combust or get crushed by something or anything like that. I still had them. They were just valued at less. Now, I know that when something goes down in value that you're holding on to, it feels like you're losing money, and that's why a lot of people panic and they want to sell their stuff immediately because they're thinking, I can't lose more money. I need to sell this now so that I have more of my money still. But like with what Poke Office was trying to say, that isn't the right call. And any investor that invests in anything is going to tell you the same thing, which is why I'm saying that Poke Office's, ultimately his message is good advice. You don't lose or gain anything until you sell whatever that is. So Dama talks about how, you're open yourself up to criticism when you're giving advice, and I think that is totally fair. But he said it himself. He's willing to get criticized on the things that he's saying as well. And I think that, yes, and saying that you lost money, and the statement you lost money because something went down, because the market was manipulated, that's not true. That's just blatantly not true. That's just not how it works. But I've given my 2 cents on that one. So let's go to his third example and talk about his third example, because I think that it starts off strong, but then we're going to go and look at the rest of the guy's video and see what else that his third example had to say about the market right now in August. All right, so we skipped ahead to his third example, and Dama was just giving, again, I think some very fair critiques on how, hey, you're not giving me, or the investor bros don't talk enough about like when is a good time to get out. They only want to talk about what's good to buy, when you should buy it, just buy. They don't talk nearly enough about selling or when is a good time to sell, or different ways of selling it. How should you advertise? What's going to give me the best margins? How can I maximize my profit? And again, I think that these are totally fair critiques on his part. But so now we're going to go ahead and look at example number 3, which I'm going to do a lot of agreeing with. But then we're going to look at what else example number 3 had to say that, and he admits that he didn't look at it, but also had to say again about the market in August.
So my number 5 pickup for the month of July was XY sleeve booster packs, and specifically art sets of these booster packs.
All right.
Now the main reason I stated that I want to pick these up was I want to get in on them now before Megas get reintroduced to the TCG.
Sounds good.
Now obviously Megas didn't get reintroduced into the TCG in the last month,
but that's
good.
There
was no massive spikes in XY products, so these sleeve booster packs didn't move very much. But I got some great deals, and I bought Primal Clash packs for under $18 per sleeve booster pack.
Thank you.
Number 4 pickup for the
I'm not in the big screen right now, but I want to talk about this. Mr. JBTCG, this is what I want from an investing channel. I want a reason to buy something specific, not just name every fucking Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield product and say, "Oh, it's low price, so you need to buy it." No, Mr. JBTCG, and this is again, I'm not shitting on investment channels because there is an investment channel right here, and I'm only using your first reference because you're starting off great. I don't want it to get ruined. I hope it's good for the rest, but I'm just going to use this one as
okay. So I'm gonna say probably should have watched the rest of the video. We're gonna go over it, but we'll see. But again, so Dama says that he's not trying to shit on investment channels or anything like that. He's only trying to shed some more light on some of the issues overall in kind of, I guess, this content space is the best way for me to put it. And so this guy, so this gentleman is talking about how he picked up XY Primal Clash because Megas are coming back into the TCG. Now, I thought the exact same thing when I started hearing rumors about Megas coming back of, oh dang, I should get some of those sets that had Megas in it and pick those up because that's going to basically re-hype the interest in Megas, and that's going to make those sets more valuable. Did I buy any of those? Because I was only looking at booster boxes when I was looking at buying any, and they are just too much money for me. I mean, I'm like, man, I could get like a whole case of a different set if I was looking to spend this much. Did I have the thought to buy sleeve boosters? Sadly, I didn't. I wish I would have. But again, like that's just my lack of experience on that one. Is my first thought was, oh, I should look at booster boxes for those XY sets that have the Megas and everything. Like, my mindset was in the right place, but I didn't think it through enough. I should have picked up some. I still might pick up some of those. But anyway, we're not here for set investment advice. That's not what we're doing today. But so yeah, Dama's critique on just like everybody's kind of just in general saying the same thing, I think is fair. Like, and the fact that he wants these guys to say more specifics on different things to invest in, again, I think is also a fair critique. However, I will say that I think that that is really hard to do on the day-to-day when you want to release weekly content on investing, for the reason of you just can't, you're just not going to have new opportunities that everybody else isn't already talking about. I mean, this is a bit of an outlier with his example number 3. Yeah, I think that when like something that was beloved comes back and is going to re-hype that thing, I don't think that everybody thinks of that immediately. Everybody's just a little bit too obsessed with the current Scarlet and Violet market, which again is another one of Dama's critiques, and I totally agree with that. I think that in general people kind of can't shut up about what's a good thing to buy right now just in the Scarlet and Violet set. Or they can't shut up about Silver Tempest and how it hasn't run out in the Poke Center yet, so you should go over there and buy it. Which, again, I don't think that any of these things are necessarily bad advice in and of themselves. And I don't think that, in general, that's Dama's problem with them. Dama's problem seems to be with the fact that all of them are just saying the exact same thing. And they just keep reiterating it from video to video, just saying what they said last time. Or what, like, you know, Investor Bro C over here said, and I'm Investor Bro B, and he said it last week. I'm here to say it right now, immediately after him. Like, again, I think that these are very fair critiques. But let's see how it all ends.
Reference. Primal Clash. XY era, Mega Evolution introduction. TCG has announced they're going to be reintroducing Mega Evolutions. What is the most underrated and one of the cheapest X and Y era sets with fantastic fucking arts, with beautiful...
Okay, so Dama just now gets a little bit on the specific on why this Primal Clash idea is a good idea and why you're probably going to see good investments and gains, and probably pretty quickly. See, that's kind of a key thing of this one example, is that you're going to see probably pretty quick change, because you're going to get so much attention on these out of nowhere, and there's no stock, there's no reprint. Whatever is currently existing in the market right now, it's limited to only that. You don't have to worry about it going down. It can only go up, and it will probably go up a lot pretty freaking quickly, for the reason of megas are coming back. And so that, again, it's a good example. It's a unique example. And yeah, I don't think that enough of the investor bros did jump on that idea. But I mean, you had one out there that did. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up on Dama's video of him critiquing and watching the investor bros and what his takes on things and all of that. And again, he wraps it up by talking about how this is not meant to hate on anybody or try to make anybody look foolish or anything like that. And again, I think that he is sincere that he does that. I think that he just gets a little bombastic with the entertainment, which, I mean, yeah, sure, I get it. You don't want to be sitting here bored. Fair enough. You don't want your audience to be bored with what they're watching. I get that. But why don't we look at JBTCG and what were his takes on what you should be buying outside of that Primal Clash XY sleeve boosters that he was talking about.
Back, you're watching JBTCG, and today we're going to talk about my top 5 investments for the month of August. But before I go over my top...
Alright, so we're going to skip ahead to immediately after the XY Primal Clash.
The number 4 pickup for the month of July was Temporal Forces booster boxes. I want to buy them below 100.
Alright, so what's the first thing that he starts talking about? Temporal Forces booster box. Temporal Forces, buy it now. It's gonna go up. Alright, let's see. Maybe not everything that he's gonna talk about is Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield. Let's find out what his... Go ahead and look at what his next example is.
My third place investment for the month of July was Lost Origin booster boxes. If I could...
Okay. Sword and Shield, Lost Origin. Buy this booster box now at hopefully 180 if you can find it at that much. Which, look, don't get me wrong, is Lost Origin gonna go up? Yeah, it's probably gonna go up. It is one of the more beloved later sets of Sword and Shield. Again, I'm not shitting on this guy. I don't think that his moves are bad moves as far as investment, but we're into example number 2, and we're still talking about the exact same thing that everybody else is talking about. Maybe I could give him a little credit on the Lost Origin. Not everyone is talking about how they're trying to find more Lost Origin boxes. But is he really saying anything that different?
My second place pickup was Silver Tempest booster boxes, specifically from the Pokemon Center.
Alright, here we go. We're to example number 3 now. We're talking about Silver Tempest, trying to pick up Silver Tempest as cheap as you can, because it's going to go up as soon as it's no longer in stock in the Pokemon Center. Which, again, I think is true. Again, I don't think that any of the investor bros are giving bad advice. I think that Dama's critiques are fair critiques, but I definitely think that he should have watched the rest of this video.
And finally, my number 1 pickup for the month of July was Fusion Strike sleeve boosters from the Pokemon Center.
Alright, now we're on to number 4. Now we're talking about Fusion Strike. So Fusion Strike sleeve boosters, they still have more in the Pokemon Center, and they're cheap. Yeah, honestly, if you're looking to get Fusion Strike at a reasonable price, get some of these sleeve boosters. Good advice. Again, is he, outside of his first example that he was talking about that Dama really liked, is he any different than any investor bro? I don't think that he is. Alright guys, well, that is it for me. I know that we had a bit of a longer form video. Again, I was not planning on making any of this until I saw Dama's video. because honestly, I wanted to talk about a totally different topic today, and I already talked about what it was, and we'll get back to it for next weekend. For next week's Monday Market Minute. We will talk more about that. I'll go into depth. Again, it's not going to be Pokemon related. I don't plan on getting into Pokemon related things immediately. Like I want to help people get to a point and get themselves set up to where even if they make major errors in their Pokemon investing, all of their other investments are doing well and they don't have to sweat it. Like that's my goal mainly with these videos right now that I'm doing with the Monday Market Minute. So anyway, guys, that is it for me. The one half of the PokeCardLovebirds that makes up me and my wife. Guys, if you liked this video, I mean, hit the like, hit the sub. But this week is going to be the last week that my wife is going to be in town. So Tuesday's video and Thursday's video are going to be the last times you're going to see that my wife is going to be a part of the videos for 2 months. So, I mean, if you guys have the time, check out our videos. We're going to be sending off my wife in the video, and everybody can... if you enjoy our content, feel free to stop by, leave a comment, say goodbye. But, it's just going to be me for a while. It's going to be just me here in these videos for 2 months. So, yeah, well, hopefully we can carry on without her, guys. Hopefully. I'll be doing my best. But anyway, like I was saying, that is it for me. And I'll see you guys next week.